So I'm going to make this opening and hopefully the video is short, succinct, and as informative as possible by telling you guys I just did my top 5 designer fragrances for the winter season, and now we're going to be moving into my top 5 niche fragrances for the winter season. That's what we're talking about today. So without further ado, let's get it. What's going on, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud. Thank you guys so much for joining me for yet another top 5 video where I'm going to be going through and talking about some of my favorite winterized niche fragrances. Before we get into it, if you're not already, make sure to subscribe. Everybody else, whether you are or you're not, make sure to like the video, put me on the algorithm, comment below, let me know some of your favorite fragrances for the cool season that are high-end niche fragrances, or even the lower-end niche fragrances, doesn't really matter. With that said, again, if you're new to my channel and you haven't been following along, we started this in fall where my moderators gave me their top 5 designer and top 5 niche fragrances. I follow it up on that at the end of that season, telling you my top 5 for that season. We just did the top 5 designer fragrances, and I did mine, and now I'm getting into the top 5 niche fragrances for the winter season. So we're just going to start it out. Again, I want to be as short and succinct as possible, but also being informative. So we're going to start out this one. This one is one of my newest pickups. I've had a decant of this for almost a year, was wearing through it, loved it. Thank you to Newt for putting me onto this. It's $169 right now on Jomashop. It is Bond No. 9's New Harlem. Bond No. 9 New Harlem. It's the only Bond No. 9 I have in my collection. I mean, I have a bunch of decants. Like, I know I'm going to get Scent of Peace. I know I'm going to get a couple other ones, but this one is my favorite. This one, how do I put it as plain as possible? Smells like aromatic, spicy pancakes and syrup. Syrup and syrup, whatever you call it. So I know there's not actually the notes or accords, pancakes and syrup. I know it's like amber, it's cinnamon, it's spices. There's going to be a little bit of an aromatics. I think it's clary sage and lavender. While there is a little bit of a noticeable lavender, a little bit of a noticeable cinnamon, this fragrance, it smells like an aromatic, spicy pancakes and syrup. What it smells like, and it's great. It is for the cool, it's for the cool season. It's gourmand. This is one of the most gourmand fragrances I've ever smelled. I am shocked that this was discontinued at one point in time. Then Bond brought it back. There's a reason why they brought it back. It's just, I'm so happy that they did, and I'm so happy I was able to find it on Jomashop for 168 bucks. I almost couldn't breathe because I was talking too much. Bond No. 9 New Harlem. This fragrance lasts 10 plus hours. I mean, as far as the performance is concerned, it has a great sillage. It lasts 10 hours plus. As far as the projection, it's going to be above average for a few hours. It's going to be a personal bubble for a few hours. I mean, this fragrance doesn't really wane until the final hours of the fragrance. Even so, you spray it on your clothes and it lasts days. Stuff is amazing. My wife loves it. When it dries down, you even get more of this kind of like vanillic woods that come in, added into that pancakes and syrup, but it is a very linear fragrance from the opening to the dry down. That is one of my favorites. Absolutely love it. There's a reason why I bought that bottle after going through like 20 milliliters in decants. Well, all of my moderators, two of my moderators, had this one as their number one of their top 5s, and it's also in mine. I told you it would be. It is Parfums de Marley Herod. Parfums de Marley Herod. It is one of the best tobacco fragrances out there. I had Tobacco Vanille. I had a 3.4 ounce Tobacco Vanille. It was the first niche fragrance in my collection. While I still have a 20 milliliter decant of that, I ended up selling that bottle, and I ended up just doing this instead because for me, this is my style of tobacco, and with this, I actually didn't need Tobacco Vanille anymore. While they don't smell alike, I mean, they have similarities, obviously tobacco, vanilla, spices. This is a moist tobacco. and it's everything I needed. Parfums de Marley knocked it out of the park with this one. Parfums de Marley Herod, it has this nice cinnamon spice. It has this awesome, and I mean awesome, moist tobacco. It's one of my favorite tobaccos in any fragrance. And then it has this nice vanilla underneath it, a little bit of an aromatic tone, but for the most part, it is a spicy, moist tobacco with a nice vanillic tone underneath. You get some woods coming in there. Really nice fragrance. Lasts about 7 to 8 hours. On clothes, obviously more, but on skin, 7 to 8 hours. Not a crazy projection. It's like between moderate and above average for 2 hours, and then it kind of creeps down. But you can smell it for a while, especially in the cool weather. It does really well in the cool weather. That's why I like it. With that said, the next one is going to be a decant. It's one that was sent to me by Ross. As soon as I smelled it, I knew it had to be in my top 5. This is YSL's Babycat. And I know it's a private blend, but for me, because the difference between like Tom Ford, their signature line and private line, people consider the private line niche. I'm considering the private line for this niche as well. YSL's Babycat. It is one of the best ambery vanilla scents out there, to the point where it almost smells like cacao and vanilla. The amber and vanilla mixture and a little bit of spice. It is super creamy. It is super smooth. And again, it has this chocolatey vibe to it. Never looked at the notes, so there might be cacao, and so I might just not be crazy, but everywhere I go, anytime someone smells, they always say, "What are you wearing?" It's one of the most complimented fragrances since I got this in, and I've worn it probably 6 times. Every single time somebody said, "What the heck are you wearing? That smells amazing." I'm like, "Oh, it's like a $340 fragrance." YSL's Babycat is amazing, and it's gonna last on your skin. It's not a crazy performer, but it's not bad at all. It's kind of in the realm of Herod, almost around the same, maybe a little bit longer as far as their longevity. But again, every one of these is pretty much going to stay on your clothes, and during the cold weather, you're wearing long sleeves like this. I mean, so unless you're like rolling it up and spraying it here, which I don't think you are, you're going to have it on your clothes and it's going to stay for a while. All of these. So that is YSL's Babycat. That is one of my favorites. This one I'm actually wearing today. I'm just going to get straight into it. Why not? It is Initio's Side Effect. Initio's Side Effect. Hey, the notes are on the back, so I might as well just give them to you. Cinnamon bark, rum, tobacco, saffron, sandalwood, and hedoin. Don't know what hedoin smells like. I don't know. I haven't smelled enough fragrances to be able to learn it. So maybe it's like a slight floral tone, but I honestly don't know. What this fragrance smells like is a warm, boozy, spicy, ambery drink. It's really freaking good. It has a slight, almost edible, gourmand-ish nature to it, but yeah, this is great. The cinnamon plays a big role, but the booze is the biggest part in this. As you get to the dry down, you get a little bit more of this almost like creamy sweetness mixed together with a little bit of woods. But this is at its core kind of like a rum, cinnamon, and tobacco fragrance, and it smells like it. And that's why right now I smell damn good, man. I smell really good, and I have to say, as far as niche fragrances go, my wife, I think this is probably her favorite. And so if you want like the average Joe's opinion, average Jane's opinion, so far this one has been huge. I don't know. For me, it would probably be between these 3 are probably the biggest compliment getting niche fragrances for me personally is Side Effect, Herod, and YSL Babycat. And Babycat's just like pretty new to my collection. Like, and it's not even a collection like this. But as soon as that's gone, I'm buying it. I don't care if it's $400. I mean, that's how good it is. I love that stuff. But I do have a decant, the Refuck It. That's really good. Anyway, that is Initio Side Effect. The performance for this, sometimes I actually get like 6 hours, but for the most part, I get like 8 to 9. With that said, it's going to last like 2 days on clothes. I don't even know why I need to talk about performance. And as far as the projection, all of these are around the same. The only one that might be a little bit heavier in the opening is the Initio Side Effect, where it's a little bit above average. With that said, this is the last one. This is MFK's Grand Soir, another new bottle to the collection. Again, like I said in my designer video, every year my winter list is probably going to include one or two of the same ones, but for the most part it's going to be different. This is, and I will say it 100 times, it's the best amber scent in existence. I had about 15 milliliters of decants of this. Took me 2 years to get through because you don't wear this type of scents all the time. But then I finally found a really good price for this. $170, I think, is what I paid for it on Venba. Venba fragrance is like the best place to go for high-end niche fragrances now. But MFK's Grand Soir, it literally is 3 notes, and that is all you really need to know about it. Amber, and it's amber at its core, vanilla, and lavender. And you just smash those 3 things together, with lavender being the lowest of the 3. Amber and vanilla put together, and that is what the fragrance is for the entirety of the entire fragrance. There's not much else to say. It is a super... If there was a fragrance that had amber in it that would be almost smelling like it was natural, even though you can't really make a natural amber, it would be this fragrance. The amber and the vanilla in this are just so good. It is great. And what's even nicer is that it's not powdery like a lot of fragrances out there. So I mean, it has a slight touch of powder, but the amber and vanilla in this are just really freaking good. Grand Soir, I mean, it's a simplistic fragrance, but if you're looking for an amber fragrance, it's great. And it's unisex, so men or women can wear it. But I do find there's a little bit of a spice to the amber that makes it more masculine than anything. But yeah, Grand Soir is great. Those are my 5. Initio Side Effect, Bond Number 9 New Haarlem, YSL Babycat, Parfums to Marley Herod, and Grand Soir. Those are great. Some new ones to my collection too. I mean, 4 of those 5 fragrances I picked up a bottle of within the last 5 months. A bottle or a decant. The only one I didn't was Herod. I've had that for years. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Let me know what your favorite niche fragrances are for the winter season. And again, we're going to be doing this for the spring. So another 2 months. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.